First of all, I would like to thank Kotyal sir and our TMOD for providing me the opportunity of coming here and delivering my P1. Before I start my speech, I have a request. I request all of you to please stand up first. And now, very quickly, or you might even want to take your time, just hug the person who's standing next to you. I can hug you. We had very small. Yeah, please settle down. So, asking a few people, how did it feel? Very nice. You hugged me, right? So, it was good. Yeah. The topic that I have today is stop, analyze, and start loving. Just like Sir said, to understand the topic, the important thing that we need to understand today is, as to what we are doing, is it actually giving me this kind of satisfaction that I want? Whenever I go out to my office, coming back from my office, we are always on the move. I've seen people in New Delhi who are traveling for 3 hours just to reach their office, do their work, come back home, lie on their bed, and follow the same routine the next day, right? Are we actually feeling happy about it? Are we actually even analyzing the same? And are we doing something that the power has been given to us to love others? I have one more request today, okay? I request all of you to please close your eyes. Each and everyone. No cheating. Right. Now please analyze and think of the most beautiful games that you played when you were a child. It can be cricket, it can be kho-kho, it can be any game. With your friends. So you're not allowed to open your eyes, right? You're playing with your friends. Remember the quarrels that you had. Remember the fights. Remember the good times. Remember the kind of happiness we derived from winning. And also remember when we were sad. And the only objective that we had at that point of time is to rejuvenate and win the next day, right? How does it feel? It feels good. We get connected towards our own child that is within each one of us. Now we have one more scenario. 5 or 6 of us go to have a dinner. You can open your eyes now. And what happens while we have gone for our dinner is, all of us are looking at our phones. We're not even looking at each other. We're talking to someone who's not even present there, either via WhatsApp. We're looking at the number of likes that we have got on Facebook. We're looking at the number of hearts that we have got on Instagram. And we are validating ourselves through what we are getting on our digital and social media, rather than connecting with the person who's sitting next to us. It does feel a little disconnected. But how has it happened that I see so many people on Facebook and other places writing statuses that I missed that particular person and that we were close people at one point of time, and now we are not even connected, we are not even talking to each other. I mean, how much time does it take to pick up your phone, call that one person and tell them that you are very important to me? Since when has ego become so big that it has overcome the feeling of love? Or maybe we have covered ourselves in a cocoon which is either made of ego or lack of trust or the fear of rejection, that we don't even go out and talk to that person whom we shared almost everything with. A few days back, I was dejected. I went to pitch my proposal and it was the 10th time that I was rejected. So I came back home. She's laughing while I was rejected. And I didn't know what to do. No WhatsApp message could have helped me then. No music. I was in a state of fix as to what is going to be there which is going to fix my mind, what is going to make me happy. And right then I saw my granny, that 85-year-old charming lady who has been the same since I have looked at her since the past more than 20 years. I went up to her, I put my head on her lap, and the way her soft hands moved over my forehead and my hair, and automatically the energy came. And I started thinking about the 11th person to pitch my project. And that is what happens, that is what love can do. I also remember one more incident, 3 days back. I get up at 10 a.m. in the morning. So my mom is generally quite offended about the same. She was suffering from fever. She went to the kitchen and she was making breakfast for me. Just that I I get to have a warm breakfast. And at times we fight with her, we get dejected, we get disappointed. Alright, how many of you here watch a TV series that comes on YouTube by the name Permanent Roommates? Anyone? Okay, we have to love a voice. In one of the episodes, the lead actor says, if you remember it, that I am afraid of memories. Because you don't even know when the moments that we are living as of now become memories. And they either make us smile in the future or probably will haunt us forever. He was thinking about his wife who died about 28 years back. And when he was asked, do you have a photograph of her? He says, no, I don't keep a photograph. I keep it in my mind because she looks very, very pretty here. And I don't even require a photograph to think about her. It is very important to cherish each and every moment because, ladies and gentlemen, you never know when this particular moment will be converted into memories, right? What we tend to do is, we tend to share photos on Facebook of children who are probably not as privileged as us. We write Amen in the comment section. But when we see a same person on the street, on the road, selling us balloons, we generally tend to demean them. We don't even talk to them. We tell to our parents that if you give them money, they'll use it probably for the reason of doing drugs and whatnot. And we are the same people who are sharing all those messages on digital media because we are very, very disconnected. And that is why I again say the same thing. It is very important to analyze as to what we are doing as of now. Is even giving me happiness or not? I know probably in the minds of some of you people, there would be a few instances that would be running as of now, where you thought that I could have done a little better, right? Talking about incidents, I remember a lot of incidents. We recently went to a trip where I had some of my lovely friends who are here sitting with me. And there are a few examples which I would like to tell you. I am a person who's shy of roller coaster rides. I don't know how many of you have. And there was one such roller coaster ride which even the person who's a Singaporean there, he said, no bro, I won't go there. It is very, very frightening. He remembers, she remembers. As a child, I was afraid and I was standing outside. I wanted to go in. This was my third visit to the Universal Studios and I did not have the courage to go inside and take that ride. And my dear friend who's not here today, Tanushri, she came up to me and she said that we are not going there if you're not coming along. I was there standing afraid and probably for the next 3 minutes or so, she was there just to motivate me that if you're not going, we won't do it. I went for the ride. Probably I was holding her hand for the entire journey of that ride. But when the ride ended, I had tears of joy in my eyes because, ladies and gentlemen, it might appear to you as a very small victory. But for me, it was something very, very huge because I wanted to do it since a very long time. And it actually happened. We had a cab driver there, you know. Every night we used to go out there. We were about 12 to 15 of us. And we had a cab driver who always used to shout upon us whenever we made him late for just 5 minutes. One fine day, after we came back, I went up to him. Everybody else went upstairs to the room. I was sitting next to him. And I started talking to him about his family, his daughter. He showed me the photographs. And he said that the reason why I shout upon you people is because in the morning I need to take them to the school. So I have to rush back home. And obviously it's also about money because they are on a very limited time schedule. Right? You won't believe that after that 5-minute conversation on our final day, while we were traveling from Singapore to Malaysia, the same person first waited for 30 minutes while we were inside. I told him even my parents need to go, they need to go after 1.5 hours. He came back again just after dropping us and waited at the same place for 45 minutes. I didn't give him even a single penny extra for that. He never asked for it. Just that 5-minute conversation that we had actually made him realize that yes, we connected somewhere. The same thing happened when we reached Malaysia. Just as I told you, I get up at 10 a.m. in the morning. So we had to check out of the hotel at 12. I came out at 2 p.m. Yesterday night, I had given her a chocolate and I said that you're probably one of the cutest receptionists I've ever come across. And that saved me 20 ringgits, you know. She never asked me for the money. She said that we won't put it in the camera, we'll just write it there. I see people who are always talking about that they have been demeaned, that they are sad, that they are disconnected, and wherever I go, I just get love. And the reason for that, ladies and gentlemen, It's because I love people. It is very, very important for you to love people. We did an event at Pacific Mall last year. We lost about, my parents are not aware about it. We lost about 1 million there. And that was one of the biggest challenges that I had ever encountered in my entrepreneurial journey, because after 3 years you tend to think about profits, right? So I had a friend, she's in Hyderabad, most of the people met here, who were here met her. She told me that she was running a school and in certain circumstances she was ready to sell it off, to move to a different venture. And I shared the story with her, my bad experiences. And she was like, I'm selling my school, I have the same amount of money and I'm ready to give it to you. And I asked, I don't even know when I'm able to return it back, but she never asked for it. That is the kind of thing that you can say. How many of you here have read the book Secret? Anybody? What does it say? It says that whatever you think actually comes back to you. If you're thinking only about the negativity, then the same thing is going to happen to you. If you think about love, it is going to come back to you. Haven't you seen people who are always saying that if I go in the rain, I'll get fever, even typhoid? We have people who don't go for Gorga Pass, they say that we'll get sick. And they are the same people who are falling sick again and again and again. And then there are others who say nothing is going to happen ever to me and nothing actually happens to them. Right? They don't even get fat by eating so much. That also happens. Whereas even if we just smell at the food, it can come to weight, right? The reason for that is because where the negative things start to come into our mind, our brain stops to work. That is why the topic here is to analyze and not to overanalyze. Because once we start overanalyzing things, we start thinking about the negative aspects. And once we start thinking about the negative aspects, things just won't work in your favor. Okay, I would just very, very quickly, in just 1 or 2 sentences, if anybody can say something regarding anything that transformed your life, or just the name of any person if you remember. Yeah, just the name.
My father.
Your dad?
Father.
Okay. Aditi? Okay. Happy? Okay. Himanshu?
My father.
My father. Everybody here would be having at least one person who has done something remarkable in their lives. So I urge each and everybody to go back home today, tell them how special they are to us. Because you never know when that particular person would be just as saved as a number in your phone and might just not exist in your life anymore. So I request all of you to go back, because once you become old, the only thing that will be left with is memories. And I want all those memories to be wonderful. Because no money is going to help us, nothing is going to stay with us. Just the memories would be there. And unless and until those memories are good, we won't have good stories to tell to our grandchildren. So, finally, I want each and every one of you to open your hands. You can keep sitting, I don't want you to get up now. And say that from today, I will start loving and loving, so that the same love comes back to us.
So that the same love comes back.
Thank you.